Go. Here we go, family. Black power, black power. The time is now. General Sarasu said it. Y'all know what time it is when Egypt ruled the earth. Let us begin with a dynamic presentation on Father's Day to all the kings out there who are fathers. Happy Father's Day to you. You keep doing your thing. You feel me? Today, you are about to witness one of the most powerful lectures that I've done in all of my years of teaching when Egypt ruled the earth. This is though my hand may reach throughout the universe, throughout all areas of the map. You see, it is the Nile Valley, you see, in which the general, his foundation was laid. You see, and so we start in the Holy Land. We're starting in the Holy Land. Let me get it in here. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Let's get on in here, family. And so, let's get started. Now, let's go straight to the map. Nah, there's no way we can start today. Let me get my banners in there. Where's my banners? I ain't even got it in here. You know I'm tripping. Bingo. Okay, here we go. Okay. And so today, let's move like the general know he can move. Now we starting at his 5, and so let's partake in a roller coaster ride of education. And this one gonna be moving fast and with full strength. Okay. And so now we looking at Africa, top side up. That's right, top side up, not upside down, but top side up. And the reason why we look and observe Africa this way is because our people came from the beginnings of the Nile. We came from the heartland of Central East Africa, at the beginning of where the Great Holy Lakes, the Holy Great Lakes region of Africa. Yeah, we talking about now. I want to make it very, very clear that there is no Lake Victoria in Africa, nowhere. See, we say these things only because based on our education with the map, that this is what we know it as. And so if you go anywhere on the planet, more than likely, what it says is Lake Victoria. There is no Lake Victoria, it's nowhere in Africa. You see, this is an illusion. This has been criminally renamed. There is no Lake Albert or no Albert Nile. Albert ain't got no goddamn Nile. You see, Victoria now. Victoria ain't got no damn Nile. She ain't even got a river named after her in Britain. She ain't even got a goddamn lake in Britain. How she gonna have one in Africa? And so what we're looking at right here is the Holy Great Lakes region. And so what we need to know about these lakes is that this is fresh water. These are the largest freshwater lakes. Now this is fresh water now. You can drink right out the lake. You see, these are freshwater lakes, second largest freshwater lake system in the world behind the Great Lakes of Michigan. You see, and so right there we've identified at the beginning of the Nile is a freshwater lake system of about 5 or 6 of the largest freshwater lakes on the planet. Now, Lake Victoria is actually the second largest freshwater lake in the world, behind Lake Superior. Behind Lake Superior in Upper Michigan, Canada. You see? And so, but as far as the tropical region, these are the largest freshwater lakes in the tropical region. So these are gems, and we must establish that immediately. Because you can't establish, when you talk about civilization, you got to look at the geography. You see, the geography is going, also be a heavy indicator on why a nation becomes as great as it is or becomes as weak as it is. You see, and so the one thing about the Great Nile Valley is that the source of the Nile, now this is just the white Nile, this ain't even the blue Nile. This is the white Nile, you see, coming out of Lake Victoria. Now, though this is on a flat map, this is actually the highlands. So these lakes, many of these lakes are mountain lakes. You see, Egypt is sea level. So when you up here, Lake Victoria and down, in Lake Tana and all that, you in the highlands. You see, so a lot of these, again, these are mountain lakes. You see, and so so the Nile is flowing out of the mountainous regions of Central East Africa. You see, and so we look at the map top side up, not upside down. We look at it top side up. We got to get our orientation together. You see, you got to get your orientation together, because this is going to be very necessary when interpreting many things in Africa, many things in Egypt. Even the cosmology is going to point to the southern region, that the Egyptians look south, you see, to the southern hemisphere in all of their sacred cosmology and all of their, sacred astronomy. You see, they look to the south. You see, when you start talking about the Milky Way, you start talking about the center of the galaxy, we must understand that the center of the galaxy is in the southern hemisphere. You see, now the Earth, and we'll get to that, and also the cosmological aspect of constellations surrounding the Earth is oriented the same way. So when we say the southern hemisphere, you have an earthly southern hemisphere, and you have astrological or cosmological southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, eastern hemisphere, and so it's cut up into quadrants, and so it'd be particular constellations and stars in the southern hemisphere, particular stars and constellations in the east, north, western hemisphere. But when you look to the southern hemisphere, you're looking at the most central, or the part of the galaxy where it came into being. The center of the galaxy is in the southern hemisphere, and so that's a very clear indicator. Last night I was going over some things, and you see right here when we looking at what they call the Indian Ocean. Ain't no Indian Ocean. Never have been an Indian Ocean. You see, this is the Kushite Ocean, family. This is the Kushite Ocean, and this is the first world. Well, Africa is the first world. This is the second world. You see, what do I mean by that? This was the first area of what we call colonization, or adventure, or when you out, what am I looking for? What's that word? It's not research, but it'll jump in my mind. You see, but this is the first direction in which the Africans, they moved out into the world, you understand, to map it out, to chart it out, to find new lands. You see, exploration, that's the word. And so this was the first area of exploration that they moved in the direction in which, long before there was a Mediterranean. long before there was civilization in Southern Europe, long before there was any civilization in America. This is the second world, the movement, you see, east on the Atlantic Ocean. Now, which was crazy, you know, in my research, I found out that there was a island sitting dead in the middle of the Indian Ocean, the Chagos Island, and dead in the middle. Matter of fact, let me find that for you. I ain't just gonna say it because I'm here, and let me see. I'll be moving too. Let me move. Where the Chago? I say, how did our people get in the middle of this ocean like this? Pity. Now this is astounding. This is astounding that our people is sitting in the middle. Oh, now it's a United States Army base there because they didn't colonize the island, but it's a group of islands. It's an archipelago. So it's the Chagos archipelago, and the Africans on that island are called the Chagosians. Okay, and so I'll show you a quick picture right there. So these are the Chagosians, and they sit in the dead center of the Indian Ocean. How did they get there? Huh? How did they get there? See, that's why I always told you, and it is coming to fruition what I say, that our people didn't walk. See, that's what they want you to believe, because they don't want you to know how advanced our people was at an early day. We're going to deal with that. I'm going to be moving quick so I can get this powerful information. I'm eager to get to it. You see, matter of fact, let me jump and show you something. Let me jump right quick. I don't want to wait. Wait a minute. Let me get out of that. Let me go. Jump right into something. I know it's right. Here it is, right here. Boom. You see, let me get it back in. Let me get back in. And so now, this is what we're talking about, even when you're talking about the Catholic Church. You see, and see, when you come in that front door, right, and you look down that long hallway right there, you know what it's called? It's called the nave. Okay? It is called the nave. And what is the root of nave? Navigate. You see? To navigate. And so why would they call it the nave? What is being navigated? Now to the right, what you're looking at is in the temple of Edfu, the temple of Horus. You see? The temple of Horus. Now, what you see right there is an ark. The bark or the ark of Heru. You see? And so that right there is the Holy of Holies. Now, if you look all the way down that hall, in what you see in the St. Peter's Basilica, you will see a canopy. And under that canopy is what's called Peter's throne. You see? And it's no different if you ever seen Osiris sitting under the canopy in the judgment hall of Ma'at. That's the canopy. Now, if you look right there in the Holy of Holies of Heru, the temple of Heru, Edfu, A-D-F-U, that right there is the Holy of Holies. It's the most inner sanction. It's the most inner room in the temple. And that's where you usually find the sanctuary in the church, in the mosque, the synagogue. You always find the Holy of Holies, what would be considered the sanctums, the sanctuary, in the most inner area room in the temple. And so right here is the sanctuary of Edfu. Now, if you look in the back, you see a small little, a small little temple, little miniature temple. Inside of that would be the statue of Horus. You see, would be the statue of Horus. And during special days and special times and seasons. The statue will be brought out, put in the ark, and it would be brought down. It's the same as what you see in the Catholic Church. It's a long aisle that leads into the from the front door into the sanctuary. And so that's the navigation. Is looked at as the Nile River. See, so when we talk about the sanctuary, the sanctuary is considered the highlands of Africa, where I just showed you. See, that's what they call the Ta-Nehru. That's what they call the land of the gods and the goddess. So the Central East Africa is the sanctuary of Africa. Let me get back in there. It is the sanctuary of Africa. And so you see the Nile is looked at as the nave. It's that long hallway that leads from the front door to the innermost sanctuary of the church, of the mosque, of the temple. You see? And so you're navigating your way up the Nile to the Holy of Holies. The sanctuary is looked at as the Holy Land. You see? And we got to understand that. Now, when you talk about the greatness of Africa, we cannot leave out the fact that Africa is so minerally rich. That's why when you go down into the temple, you see so many kings and so many queens with so much gold, so many riches, so many exquisite necklaces, so many exquisite rings, furniture, gold, all type of regalia with precious stones from all over Africa. See, no other kings on the planet or queens could command resources like Africa. No different than today. They had they had diamonds, they had emeralds, they got rubies, they had all the precious stones on the planet at their disposal, and had the greatest craftsmen on the planet being able to create all kinds of wonders of the world with these precious stones. So there's no looking for our greatness. Our greatness is manifested in full fashion, all in every museum where they done stole. You see all the regalia of Africa. And again, it was because of the resources, and there's no way you can explain Egypt or the Nile Valley without explaining the resources, how they mastered Africa, how they mastered the geology, how did they master the geography, how did they master the astronomy of Africa in order to create and manifest a great civilization such as the Nile Valley civilization, which includes Egypt, it includes Nubia, it includes Punt, it includes Aksum. You see the great Aksumite Empire. You see, and so as you look at the top, you can see that the gold deposits were deep down in the south. This is where the great goldsmiths, and this is where you get the term Nubia. This is where you get the term Nub, which is symbolic of gold. You see, and so we're talking about those great Africans who mastered the craftsmanship of carving the sarcophages. You see all the gold furniture, Tutankhamun's throne, and all of that. You see, crafted with that gold that come up out of Nubia. You see all type of granite, gold, natron. You see amethyst, feldspar, tin, jasper, alabaster, lime, copper. You see all of these was manifested in abundance. And not only did they have the precious stone, the geological resources. You see, they had animal resources. When you go into Africa, almost every animal, there's about anything. That when you go to the zoo, the first animals you look for is the African animals. We're talking about the lion. You see, we're talking about the giraffe. We're talking about the elephant. You see, when we're talking about the hippopotamus, we're talking about the rhinoceros. You see, the cheetah, the leopard. All of these are the great animals that most people, you got a couple coming out of Asia. People might want to see a panda and a tiger, but that's where it ends. You understand? That's where it ends. And so you got every type of animal in Africa. You got every type of animal in Africa. Uh, so you know, a lot of people think that if they go to Africa, somehow they ain't gonna eat. You know, they can't get no chicken. You know, you know, you niggas love chicken. Yeah, they got chickens in Africa. They got chickens in Africa. They even got porky pig too. You see, they got everything in Africa you ever wanted. You see, I don't know why they, you know, our peoples are starving because they growing all the food and they you know, they got cattle, but they feeding other people off of the riches of Africa, and that's where we got to bring an end to that. So if you ever go to Africa, you ain't got to worry about eating. You can eat any kind of ham, any kind of burger you want. If you want your goddamn rhinoceros burger, you can have one. You want your damn giraffe burger, you can get you a giraffe burger. You see, you want your zebra burger, you can get you a zebra burger. And they do eat them now, so I don't know. I ain't never and don't want to taste it, you know. But you know, for some, it tastes good. So if you want you a barbecue rhinoceros burger, I'm quite sure you can get you one in Africa. So don't hesitate. You will eat. You will eat. So you got all the resources. You got all the animal resources. And then when we show the Great Lakes region of Africa, you see, which are fresh water. So you know right there, you got the freshwater fish in Lake, let me see, is it Lake Tanganyika? I believe it very well. Now, Lake Tanganyika is the second largest freshwater lake in Africa, but I believe it very well may be the deepest. You see, Lake Victoria is larger, but I believe Lake Tanganyika is deeper. And I believe either Lake Tanganyika or Lake Victoria has the most freshwater varieties of freshwater fish on the planet. See, we putting this up here so you understand how you know, because if you see a major civilization, there's no way you're going to explain that civilization without the geological richness. You see other things that I'm showing you. And so if they don't show you, how did they eat? I don't want to hear nothing about all these scrolls and how did they eat? How was you able to sustain a civilization for 3,000 years? You see? And so you got the freshwater fish in Africa. Then you got the tropical rainforest. You see, you got the tropics. These are the lungs of the planet. Fresh air in those areas, in the pure air. You see, you get in there, ain't no poisons or nothing, just nothing but rain and vegetation, and it brings forth pure air. It's the lungs of the planet. You see, and within the tropics, within the tropical rainforest, you got the medicine. This is where you find Bess and Patah. See, they're not talking about that. You're talking about the Twa. In some areas that the Twa still reside in is the Congo. There's also the Great Lakes, the lakes of Africa. There's Twa that live around those lakes also, and you would, you know, with all those fish, you know why. And then you got the rainforest. So with that area, that's really what you call the Garden of Eden. There's no area more sacred than that area, because on one side, on the east side of Africa, you got the Holy Great Lakes, fresh water. Then on the same side, in the same area, on the other side, you got the Congo rainforest. So that area right there is the richest piece of real estate on the planet Earth by far. You see what I'm saying? In the necessities of life, bringing life forth on this planet, there's no other area that is more sacred than that area. So that's your Garden of Eden. You see? And so, and when you look at today, which, you know, I can blow these up a lot bigger, but that's all right. We're gonna deal with that at a different time, because this is matter of fact, here you go, right? Wow, now you see, throw that on in there. You talking about all the number one exports of all the African nations, and you see from South Africa all the way up, gold. South Africa, gold. You know, Sudan, gold, number one resource. And so you now see, your thing is, now you see what's going on. Now you see what's going on. They're in there for the gold. That's Nubia. That's what they're in there. They're in there for the precious resources. You got the Libyans. There's, they paying militia hitmen. You see what I'm saying? The war for the resources. You see, you got Egypt paying the Sudanese government. They ain't nothing but flunkies. So you see, it's a hidden hand on each side. It's a hidden hand behind the hand. You see? And so we got to understand, this is our land. This is our inheritance. And we ain't going to never be the people that we can talk about ancient Egypt. We can talk about Zimbabwe. We can talk about Nubia, Aksum, Mona Mopata. We could talk about Carthage. We could talk about Mali, Songhai, Ghana. You see, we could talk about all them civilizations. You see, but we'll never be those nations again unless we command the resources of Africa from north to south, east to west. Every inch belongs to us, and we must command every inch once again. Arab got to go home. Your Cro-Man Cracker got to go home. Yeah, they got to get up out of Africa. No longer we allow, because we got over 2 billion Africans on the planet. We ain't got nobody to share. We can't share with nobody. We got to make sure that all these 2 billion Africans on this planet got something, got some food, got some land, got some nationhood over there to defend them against this wicked world. You see? And so we got to speak on this. We can't just jump into the damn pyramid. See, that's when they trying to sell you smoke and mirrors. They don't really know the true origins of how this civilization came to be. And so, when we start talking, we looking at the resources, and we looking at we see the number one exports, and these are just the number one exports. These ain't all the exports. And so Africa is just, just super rich in all type of precious minerals and stones and so on and so forth. Now, when we talk about moving out into the into exploration. You see, the monsoons took our people into Asia. Took our people in, the monsoon took us straight across. They took us in all directions in going east. You see, and we'll show that's why when you talk about all the great civilizations in the world, they're in the south. I don't care which one you're talking about. Even when you're talking about the oldest civilization in Europe, it's in the south. We're talking about the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete. We'll touch on that. When you talk about the Sumerian civilization in the south, Iraq, you understand, right off the Persian Gulf. When you're talking about the Indus civilization, you're talking about right there off the Arabian, what they call the Arabian Sea, even though the Arab is a goddamn goat herder. I don't know how the hell they name a sea or waterway after a goddamn goat herder. You see? And so they're just taking very precious things of geography and renaming it after, you understand what I'm saying? Thieves and pillagers and plunderers. You see? Stealing. And so you have to understand, we have to rename the geography back to the way it was, because in the wording is the power. When you spell, it's a spell. You see, and you can put a spell of righteousness over the people by empowering them with words that command black divinity. So when they say it, they see the divinity in the things that's coming out their mouth. You see, they feel the divinity. When you speak, you got a frequency in the words that you say. It ain't just what the devil, it's the frequency. What you use, nigga mean, but what is the frequency? You see, what is the frequency? And you've been confused about a lot of things. And so when you understand that niggas, nagas, all over the world, you see, we understand when people got crackatosis and niggeritis. See, they look to the white man definition first. You can look all over the damn world, and anywhere where you see that word and you see and people think somehow, that the expression is over here it means one thing, everywhere else it means something different. It's a frequency that go all across the world. When you say I don't care if you say it in America, whether you say in India, is on. It sends the same frequency. I don't care if you say nigger, I don't niggers. It is the same frequency, and you got to learn that. You see, but the definition has changed because you first and foremost, you look to the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal for everything. You start with his definition first. You can look everywhere else on the planet that uses that word and uses the prefix or the suffix of that word, and everywhere else in the Kushite world where it is used, it is of divine, is of divinity, is of sovereignty. You see, they want to rescue all these other words, but they don't want to rescue Naga. You see, they don't want to rescue Naga, even though Naga was in Africa before it was in Asia. You see, it was in Africa before it Naga Hammadi. Naga Hammadi, Naga Sudan, right there with the temple of Apetamat. You see what I'm saying? And you can see right there the three-headed, and let me move on. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Let me put something up here. Let me get it moved. Let me keep it moved. I'm gonna just move through. And so right here, you see, you're dealing with Arabia, which when you talk about Southern Arabia, you're talking about Arabia Felix. You see, this was one of the in that area was the most lush area of all Arabia. Arabia is a damn desert, but in that southern region, which they call Arabia Felix, here is where they say is the true era. Why do they say it's the true era? Ain't no damn Arab. Where did he come from? I know he couldn't have started in the beginning of no damn Arabia. That couldn't have been his origin. He came across. So the original, what they want to call an Arab, was an Ethiopian, was a Cushite. You understand what I'm saying? Was a Cushite in that land, all of that. And from that base, when you look at Arabia, let me make sure. Let me get it in there. Let me get it in there. Let me take that. Let's go to work. When you look at sheep, you see, and you look at Sheba. Matter of fact, let me get it all. Let me bring that in. Yeah. Let me see if I can get myself up. That's good. Okay. And so you see Sheba, and you see that was the base that launched, you see, exploration to the Indus Valley. You see? And they went to the Indus Valley before they went to Sumer. No way they're gonna cut that corner and not, the monsoons would have took them straight to the Indus Valley. By default, they wouldn't have went straight. They wouldn't have just, they would have had to make that turn. Now, if they want to make that turn and sell it, but it would have been much easier for them to go straight to the Indus Valley and start what they call today the Hindu Kush. Now, matter of fact, let me get it right there. You see, so you're talking about the Arabian Peninsula. And so I wish I had matter of fact, let me get see, it's just showing, I need to see the whole sea. I need to see the whole sea. Matter of fact, let me grab it. Matter of fact, it should be right there. Let me see. Here we go. Right there. Right here. Bingo. There we go. And so that's the Bay of Bengal. That's on the other side. I still need it. Let me, okay. I like that one there. Matter of fact, here. I want to see the whole sea. Here we go. Right. Here we go, right. You see? And so as you see the monsoon, you see the arrows pushing, the winds, the mightiest monsoon winds, driving exploration and trade into East Asia. You see? And so by default, they landed on India, the Kushites, and founded that great civilization, which we call the Hindu Kush. And this is why you see all the original Buddhas, the ancient Buddhas, woolly head Buddhas. You see, these is the Sufi Kushites. When you talk about Sufi, you talking about the wool. We ain't talking about no damn hat that these crazy crackers that over there in Turkey spinning around high up a damn all type of hayron and shit, spinning in a goddamn circle. Yeah, and looking up in the sky high as hell. We talking about the woolly haired divine mystics of Africa that took science all over. And when it said that Christ, his hair was as the pure wool, you see, this is the mystic. These are the Sufis that they talking about. Not no damn crazy ass Cro-Magnon up there spinning house some damn hayron. You see? And so you see it brings them right there into India, even go and turn up into the Bay of Bengal. And I said I would use that. You see, this was the great civilizations of Kush that went from Africa all in long before what you see right here and right now. This is just today. This is just few days ago what you see. No different than you over here in America and the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal just got over here. 1600. This 1700, 1600. And so when you look over there, it ain't that much different. Maybe 1,000 years here or there, but still that's nothing compared to how long African people been on the planet. And so they sail straight across. Some when they sent maritime explorers in all directions. Some went up into the what you call the Persian Gulf. You understand? Some went right there into India. When they went to India, they used the Indus Valley civilization as a platform to take it on up into the Persian Gulf. You see, that's what they did. India is more advanced than Sumeria. And people got to understand that they try to bolster Mesopotamia over India, but it's not. You cannot bolster Mesopotamia. The Kushites of the Hindu Kush had a much greater skill in carving that stone. You see what I'm saying? And so many, because it was a straight shot, bow. You see, it was a straight shot from Africa. When you look at it, when you look at the monsoon wind, where did that go? Yeah, it's a straight shot, straight from Somalia. Boom, southern. So when you talk about in that area, you're talking about Southern Arabia. You see, a jump off point, the earliest, colony, which is still Africa. You see what I'm saying? There's no doubt about it. It's just across the water. And so that just, you consider that Africa. And from there, the Horn of Africa and Southern Arabia, they move into India. You see? And so that whole area right there is probably what you would consider the first international waterway right there. What they call today the Arabian Sea, between Southern Africa, the Horn of Africa, Southern Arabia, and India. And from there, they moved on in to what you call the Persian Gulf, founded what you call the Sumerian civilization. And so that's the first area. And then expansion. They moved on into the Bay of Bengal. And you see the evidence even when you go into Myanmar. And you see all of the temples over there in pyramid form. You see, you look up throughout Myanmar, and all you see at night is the golden tops of the temples all through Myanmar. And they got hundreds, if not thousands, of pyramid temples in Myanmar. And so and you come on down into Angkor Wat. See, you don't understand that the Africans was the earliest peoples in that land. You see, they were the earliest peoples in that land, far more longer than what you see in there today. You see, and they took it on around from Angkor Wat. Let me get in here. Let me get in here. Matter of fact, let me go over here to this. And you can see here, evidence. Let me start dropping. You see? So when you look at the Buddhas, that's what you see. You see that peppercorn hair. You see? Now when you look at the Dravidian, they black, but they ain't got the spirals. They ain't got the coils. You see, when you look at that Buddha right there, you can see that's somebody totally different than what something that happened. There's, that's not who that is. Now you can explain, and it ain't up to me to explain what it is, where it comes. I know what it ain't. And so a lot of people say, what is? Well, I know what it ain't. Let's start there. You see what I'm saying? What it ain't. And we can make clarity on that, and then you figure that other shit out whenever you feel, when you get a chance. You see? And so when you look at all the ancient Buddhas, you see that they woolly hair. That's significant. You see, here you see also woolly hair. You see the stretched earlobe, which you find all over the Kushite world. You're talking about the champa. You're talking about champa. You see, and then you see right there, you see those that's over there, Africans in the Philippines right now. You're talking about the Naga champa, the Naga champa. Again, you're looking at one of the most divine scents. Everywhere you look, you see Nag, Nid, and you understand that the vowels is interchangeable. The E, the I, the A, the O, you see? Yeah, champa, Ham, Black, Cham, Kim. That's it's a derivative. You see? Naga, the serpentine, divine, the Ouroboros. You see, the divine serpent, immortality. You see, primordial. When you talk about the serpent, you're talking about a primordial, immortal being. When you talk, this transforms and moves from stage to stage, a process of eternal elevation. You see, a process of eternal elevation. So you're dealing with the Naga Champas over there. You see, and when you look here, you see the exploration, because our people, being great maritime navigators, went all over the world. They went all over the world. You had the little Twa, went all over the world. You see, mapped and charted not only the ocean, but they charted the stars while they were charting the ocean. You see, they charted the stars while they were charting the ocean. You see, and so you had the stellar calendar. You see, where they knew where they was based on particular stars in the sky, alignment of stars that only appear in certain areas of the planet. You see, and so that's how they got into the center of the Indian Ocean, because some sailed directly across, but it's a lot of islands that they never show you that is in these oceans. When they go to put up a map, they show you a damn map with nothing but water up there. But they don't show you the islands that's in all these oceans, because they're in there. If you don't know they're there, they go there and they're imperialists, colonialists, oppressors that are seizing these islands from the original inhabitants. You don't know about it until later, much later, and when you realize, and in a lot of times now you got to fight to reclaim the land, and that's where it is. That's where the way it is all over the planet now. We got to reclaim everything. You should not yield an inch to these damn crackers. Not an inch should you yield to them. Everything that you can historically show belong to African people, there must be a revolutionary movement to reclaim these lands from these goddamn crackers. Okay, that's what I said. And so we see right here the exploration based on the currents in the ocean. The currents in the oceans. And you see, make sure you understand this. You have to study this. You see, and coming back, see, you see the arrows coming. Now, this is when the monsoons blow back towards Africa. Now, they blow towards Asia. These are the wet monsoons, June through September. And then from September to March, those are the dry monsoons blowing back to Africa. Time to get back home. You see, time to get back home. And so understand, this is the great routes of African people. Now let's get into some temples. Let's get into some temples in the Nile Valley. Now, what you're looking at right here, you talking about you at the bottom of Africa. Now, when people talk about the pyramids, they don't know they're at the bottom of Africa. You see, when you look at the map from top side up, Egypt is at the bottom. You see, and so what made Egypt so great? Just like anything that if you let it saturate, and you get to the bottom, but man, I don't care what it is, even if it's the damn Kool-Aid. You see, when you get down there and all that sugar is at the bottom, man, that's the best part of the damn Kool-Aid, is that last cup. You see that last cup, them last 2-3 cups, that's the best Kool-Aid in the damn jug. And so when you talk about in the bottom of Africa, you talk about Egypt, that's where all the greatness of Africa just came down and settled into Egypt. From all throughout Africa, settled into Egypt. You see, and the greatest of all of Africa was manifested in Egypt at that time, and in other times, it was manifested in other areas. No different. It manifested in Mali, Ghana, and Songhai. You see, it manifested in Mona Mopata. You see, it manifested in Carthage. It manifested in all areas of Africa. But at this time, for the first time, the first great civilization is the Egyptian-Nubian coalition, Nile Valley civilization. And when you look at this map, you have to understand that this is a coalition of nations. And when you look at it from a military standpoint, I want you to understand something. See, I'm teaching you some shit that nobody else gonna teach you. You see, when you look at this from a military standpoint and understand everybody, Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, all of them, Yemen, what the Africans that was in the land of Yemen, all of them had they checkpoints in which they had to, be on top of whatever checkpoint they were responsible for to lock down the Nile Valley coalition of nations. So you had Yemen and you had Somalia, the Africans in Southern Arabia, the Africans on the Horn that was responsible for not allowing any foreigners or invaders to come through that area of the Red Sea. You see, of the Arabian Sea. They held it down. But then you had the Sudan, and they held it down from the middle point. Then you had Egypt, who held it down from the last point to the Mediterranean, held the Mediterranean down. You see, and so this is a federation that laid out the world's first international trading system, moving from what we call West Kush, East Kush. East Kush is Asia. You see, so the trade that's coming from far east, coming down through the so-called Indian Ocean into the Arabian Sea, into the Persian Gulf, into the Red Sea. These systems of trade existed for thousands of years before there was a Europe, before there was an America, before there was, most of Northern Asia was a wasteland. The only civilization on this planet was in the South. You see? And so you got to understand that trading route means a whole lot even to the Europeans today. Because you have to understand right there in Egypt is what you call the Suez Canal. And the Europeans cut through that Suez Canal, sailed down the Red Sea to the Horn of Africa, out into the Indian Ocean. And so they shipped, this is a trading route. If they did not have that trading route going through the Suez Canal, they would have to sail all the way around Africa. You see, and for them old ass ships back in the 1600s, that shit could take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years for them to get back. You see what I'm saying? And so, cutting that Suez Canal, even to this day, is a major water system, transit system, trading system that is used by the world today. If you don't understand trade on that water, you in trouble. You talking nationalism and you don't understand oceanic trade and transit system all over this planet. You got to learn this. You have to learn the astronomy. You have to learn the movement of water. You have to learn navigation, maritime exploration in order to move from point A to point B. And once you learn that, then you got to know how to build ships. You ain't gonna just, it ain't all about no damn horse or this, that. You got to learn how to build ships because a lot of places is too damn far to walk. too damn far to ride on the goddamn horse. You see? And so that's why when you look up in the Holy of Holies of our people, you see what we call the arcs, the Ark of Heru, which we just saw. And so you see here at the mouth, at the bottom is where you find the Great Pyramid. Why? Because now, coming down the river, now if you look up the river, you see the development of the pyramids take place in Africa. You see all the failure is in the south. You see, they're developing. You see, and so as they move further and further north, they get more advanced. They get more advanced. You see right there, Saqqara. You see Saqqara right there. The step pyramid of Djoser, built by the one and only, the great Imhotep. Then you got number 2, Meidum over there. It was a failure, and it was a failure because, see, Imhotep's Djoser's pyramid was a step pyramid, but they're trying to get to the true pyramid. They're trying to get what you see over there in Giza. So they're trying to develop to the true pyramid. And so Meidum was the first pyramid after Saqqara that where they tried to push forward on, achieving the true pyramid, but they failed. They failed. The outer casing fell down. And then so they came number 3 right there, Dashur, which they called the bent pyramid. And so they, you can see right there, that was Sneferu, who was the father of Khufu. Sneferu was the first king that truly brought forth the pyramid age. You see, he's the father. Well, I won't say that. No, I take that back. But the true pyramid, Imhotep is who started the pyramid age. There's no doubt. He was the one that started the advancement in that engineering technology. Okay, and so after Imhotep, Sneferu, and Sneferu was the one that mastered the true pyramid. You see, he was the one that mastered the true pyramid, but he had a failure before that in Dashur, which is the bent pyramid. And when he laid it out, they had great expectations, but mathematically there was some miscalculation. You see, and which caused the pyramid to bend, start to begin to crack. You see, and they couldn't take it no higher than what it was, and so they sloped it so they could finish it off. And this is where you get the bent in the pyramid, because they sloped it. They had to finish it where it was. They couldn't take it to the blueprint expectation. It would have fell in. It would have been too much pressure. You see what I'm saying? It would have been too much pressure on it. And so they went on ahead and capped it off, which is a bent pyramid. But he came right back with the red pyramid, which is number 4, which is the first true pyramid on the planet. Okay, and so they could have made that a little bigger than what it is. They made that look real low, and that was But the red pyramid is actually almost as large as Khafre's pyramid. You see, it's a monstrosity, to say the least. And I'm saying that in a divine way. It's a monstrosity. And when you get to that pyramid, you in awe of what the great King Sneferu has brought forth on this planet. You see, and so this is the area of and so this is showing you all of the development that then took place up the river, coming down all the way from the heartland of Africa. And when they got to the very bottom, they had advanced to the greatest extent of our people on this planet. They had advanced to the greatest extent of our people on this planet. When you look, this is the same one. Let me go. Now this is giving a more panoramic view. You see a zoom out. You see, and so I got more temples that I want to show you. That map right there. Let me get it. No, this is what we call the battlefield pattern. Now, If you don't know of this palace, this is at the time. This is the first dynasty. Matter of fact, this is before the first dynasty. This pre-dynastic. Now, as you look there, you can see the Twa, the little short African, and you see that they always, you know, when they want to show you curls in their hair, they put the circles in there. You see, they put the circles in there. That's wool. That's the spiral. That's symbolic of spirit. You see, and so this is called the battlefield palette. This is the scorpion mace head. See, they got you when they stole the concept, the Scorpion King. He's actually before Narmer, who was the first king of Egypt. These kings already got crowns on their head. This is pre-dynastic Egypt. This is the scorpion mace head. Pre-dynastic Egypt. You see the little Twa down there. You see them? This is already a highly developed culture. You can see them right there with the, it's very similar to a hoe where you dig the dirt up out the ground. You see, and so this is like one, you know, when they break ground right now today, and, you know, they just dig the shovel down in the ground. It's like a ceremony to say, okay, a great building is going to be constructed. And so this is what's happening right here. This is a ceremony to say that some great temple is going to be constructed on this land. You can see the water. You can see the symbol of the water up under their feet. You see? And so, you know, right there, you know, it shows you that there may be some maritime engineering where the river has to be diverted. But you can see that, you know, even that scorpion, you can see the scorpion up there. You see, this is where you get the Scorpion King, and Scorpion very well may have been the father of Narmer. He very well may have been the father of Narmer. And so Narmer, first dynasty, the Narmer palette, you see, now this is the what they call this is in the principal side. The principal side is show Narmer at his largest. Let me get to that. That's this one. That's this one right here. This is a heavy, okay. And so you see, this is the principal side. And you see he got the crown of Upper Egypt on his head. He got the crown of Upper Egypt on his head. And so, you know, that show you that Upper Egypt, which is southern Egypt, like I said, that area going to the south, going to the heartland of Africa. So, and you look and you see the crown of Lower Egypt was the lesser crown. It was the lesser crown. They was conquering down in that region. And so you see, but yet and still, you know, he wore the crown to let them know, you understand what I'm saying, that I rule these lands now. Whoever may have been here before I was here, they're dead at this time. And you can see at the top, you see each one of those bodies there represent 1,000. And so you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. And you see their head is between their legs. So they must have been vile, and our ancestors crushed them. You see what I'm saying? To get them out the land. At the bottom, you see Narmer as the bull. You see running down and trouncing his enemy. You see? And so this is great Narmer, the first king of ancient Egypt. And here you see another one, the king of Upper Egypt as the bull. And you can see again that he's running his enemy in the ground. They happen to be Africans. You see what I'm saying? This wasn't no Europe. These was wars between Africans. Some had went wrong, some wasn't right. And so there was some correction that had to been made. And you can see he was all on his leg, cracking his legs and running him down. And so this is is crazy. Now this is actually this is a tomb of a first dynasty king, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it'll get to me. I believe it's this. This is the first guy. I believe this is Djedid. I believe it's Djedid, Deget or Deged, Djedid. You got Djedid. You got Djedid. And so when you look at this, is the first dynasty, and this is what they don't show y'all. How extensive these tombs were. This ain't no people that just started. People that just start, they just drop a motherfucker in the ground. These got bricks, and this is a well thought out temple. And see, and this would have been the underground tomb or the underground storage area, but they also had above the ground mastabas, even in the first dynasty. You see, even in the first dynasty, as you can see right here, this is first dynasty. This is not second dynasty. You see, you're talking about the Great Pyramids was built in the fourth dynasty. You see, this area, this tomb right here would have been far older than the pyramid. You see, this would have been at least 300 years older than the pyramids. We got to understand that this is actually an extension of the same tomb. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. And so if you didn't get an opportunity to see these, this is another temple. Now this is from what's this king's name? I had it in there. No, I believe it's Casa Kimwe. Let me see. Where is this king? I believe it's Casa Kimwe. Casa Kimwe is second dynasty. You see what I'm saying? This is Casa Kimwe. Matter of fact, let me get him in there. Let me get Casa Kimwe in there. You hear that Kim in there. Yeah, Casa Kimwe. Let's see if I can get his face in there for y'all. Okay, let me get down. That's all right. I'll get him out. Let me put his frontal face in there. Man, I just want to give me an opportunity. Let me get his face. Let me see if I can get a nice look. When I show you this building, man, in a second, I say, how the hell, is they hiding this? Even from top scholars don't even put this out there like that, which is crazy. This got to be manifested first and foremost. Okay, let me see. Okay, here, this is good. Let me put it here. Let me drop it in. Drop it on it. They won't let me. Man, they be codified and all these new damn photos. It make it hard. Okay. And the thing about Casa Kimwe, that's very important. Let me put that in there too. Let me put that in there. Because they don't show this. Okay. Now when you look at Casa Kimwe, you see that he got the horns and set. Now I need a clear one in that. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Okay, there we go. And so you talking about Casa Kimwe, and you see, let me see what dynasty Casa Kimwe is in. And I believe it's second dynasty. Second dynasty. You see, second dynasty. And so, look at this temple, man. You talking about the pyramids, even them. Look at this. Man, look at this wall on this temple, man. In the second dynasty. You see, they're not showing people this. You see how megalithic, this is a lot of the temple is falling down, but man, even at this point, look at this. Our people was highly advanced, man, to be able to build something highly advanced. Most people couldn't even build that shit right now. You understand what I'm saying? You talking about, a lot of people, it is advanced, but we talking about just off the cuff. You know what I'm saying? You would need technological know-how to put something up this massive. You see, and this has been standing. You're talking about the second dynasty. Now, I'm going to show you. Now, it didn't falling down, but you could look at the scope of this temple. In the second dynasty, look at the scope of this temple, how big and massive it is. You see, look at it from afar. This is astounding. This is astounding. They're not showing a whole lot of stuff because it's blowing the mind to be able, to show people this. It's blowing the mind because, you cannot start with Egypt. Egypt was fully advanced when it started. You people who could build this in the second dynasty, they probably had already been building for thousands of years to even get to this point. You see, this is another area, inside of it. But look at that, man. That's astounding. This was a megalithic temple. This wasn't just no little temple, man. Listen, let me tell you something. This temple right here rivaled temple in the New Kingdom. Did you see that wall? Look at that. That's the front going in there. Look at that. That's astounding. When I fell into this, it really blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? This is even, because you can look at the pyramid, but to know that this was in the 2nd century, this is very astounding to me. This is another picture to show you in depth and on the level, that our people had advanced to. And these are some of the other tombs. See, first dynasty. And see, when you look at them, those are just storage rooms. They would have all type of, chairs in one. And so how rich was these kings? Even in the first dynasty, you look at them tombs right there. Look at them storage. Imagine if they was all filled up. You see? And that other part is here. And, it's more than one. If you look at, say, for instance, you look at this. Now, this is that, and so it show you all the storage rooms. He got more than one. All of them, all of them would have been filled with furniture, pottery, scrolls in the first dynasty, in the second dynasty. This is amazing, man. There's nothing like Egypt on the planet. Nothing can even come close. Quit lying. Nothing can come close. You see, now, that's that same, and I believe this is Den's. Yeah, that's Den. You see, D-E-N. Dynasty 1. You see, and you can see the bulls and, that they had down in his temple. You can see the bulls, and so, these are very profound tombs in the first dynasty, not just beginning. You see, now you can see the Narmer's Palace, first dynasty. And you see he done came down there. You can see all the regalia. It's already, you see the mace, the mace, the war mace. You see the apron. You see the apron of Narmer. That's the brotherhood. You see the bull tail. You see many Africans wearing the bull tail. You see that sister right there with the dreadlock. She done came down here. Her father is the king of Nubia, and she been sent down here to make sure that he done everything that he's supposed to do. You see the little Twa. They are the priesthood at that time. They're carrying the totem poles. You even see the placenta, because you see the umbilical cord coming off the back of it. You see the placenta, which is the placenta of his mother. And so they show you right there that the Holy Mother was divine. Procreation was divine in ancient Egypt. You see Heru, you see Set, you see Anubis there. You see the arcs is already there. And so when they came down, it was a naval expedition also. So they came down with Marines. You see, if you got soldiers on boats, they're Marines. So they came down there with a Navy, and you see all the heads in between the legs. Very, and so you see the beginning of the craft. You see the plumb line over there. You see the mallet up under the fish. You see the mallet. You see the mace. You see the apron. You see all of that. This is where the Masons they start from. You see, long before there was any Freemason, Solomon or goddamn Hiram or Biff, our people was already in Africa with the most highly advanced fraternity that ever walked or existed on the damn planet. We talking about the fraternities of Ptah. We talking about the fraternities of Amun Ra. You see, and so you see right here, Semakhet. This is where you get Sumer from. They don't tell you that. Semakhet, King Semakhet, first dynasty, smites the Bedouin of Sinai, smiting Sinai. And so they were already going over there into what, and were already, they was already established in what the areas that you call Mesopotamia and Arabia. They were already over there as sovereign rulers. You see them right there cracking them heads as he's supposed to. You see, let me get down. Now on top of those tombs that you see right here, of Jinn, or they had mastaba. You see, in the mastaba, just a story, and that's a very large mastaba. You see, matter of fact, that might have been Casikimwe. You see, and it show you that the grave was down up under, and so up under, regardless to whether it was a mastaba, whether it was a pyramid, it was pretty much developed the same way. You see, it was pretty. When you look at the early step tomb, and you see now that's crazy, because I just noticed that early step tomb. See, that's how the Nubians. You see, that's how the Nubians. And I just looked at that. You see that early step tomb. That's how the Nubian pyramids is. You see, it's a stairway that leads right down. That's in front of the pyramid. You see, matter of fact, let me see if I can get it for you. Let me see if I can get it for you. See? Let me see if I can get it for you. I'll just put it, I'll show you, but I might have to, search to really get that particular where it go down. But this is the Nubian pyramid. Let's see if I can get it. Probably already got it in. I'll be downloading every chance I get. But even when you look at that, and you see that's just how the Nubian pyramids is constructed. You see, when you get in it, and you get in, you would think it's inside of the pyramid. It's not. It's not inside the pyramid. It's in front. It's the steps in front of that pyramid that lead down to the tomb. Matter of fact, let me see. When I say I want to back it up, I want to black it up. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get it. But it's showing you something. I'm gonna just take a few looks If it don't get me there real soon, I'm gonna have to opt out and keep moving. But when something hit my mind and I didn't realize that. But now I realize when I seen that early, that's the Nubian style. So that show you where it came from. Okay, well I ain't gonna be able to get it. But I'm gonna search for it. I know this is right here. That's but I wonder if they got the stairs on it. It might be coming up. Okay. Now, this is down in the newbie. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah. Let me see if I can get it. Not here. I might have to take a screenshot. I ain't gonna do that right now. Hold on, family. Give me 2 seconds. If I don't get it in 2 seconds, I think I might be coming down on. If I could just see them stairs that lead down right there in front of that pyramid, I can prove what I'm saying. If not, I'll prove it another time because I know what I'm saying. Okay, they're not gonna let me in, so I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna force it. But at this time, but that's how it's that early step. And so you see, when you look at the where the tomb, where the sarcophagus was placed, you can see that it's primarily it developed from the dynastic burials and to the early stone mastaba, the early step tomb, and the royal pyramid tombs, and you get to the great pyramids of the fourth dynasty, and so pretty much it's the same under there. So they started with the mastaba. They started with the mastaba, and they developed from the mastaba, which is a single story tomb. You see, and you got the shaft that leads down to the burial. You see, and this is showing just like we just showed you, Casa Kimway and Den and his. You see the storage areas, and that's see, but it would have been a mastaba on top, just like that. It wouldn't have been out in the open. You see, it would have been a mastaba on top. You see, and so from the mastaba, Imhotep stacked the mastaba. He started to build Zoser mastaba, but he thought that was too, he wanted to do greater for his king. And so he began to expand it. And so you see, first he extended long way. You see, I believe he may have extended it maybe 2 or 3 times. And finally he started going up. He said, wait a minute, let me take it up. You see, and so you see P1 was the first stage of the pyramid, and then he added on that till you get P2. And so he kept expanding, he kept developing until you get what you have today. And so this was the development of the first step pyramid on the planet. Here again, you see the mastaba. And so when you look out where behind the pyramid, man, they had mastabas all through there. You see, and these is great temples and tombs of, you go in these mastabas, man, they have all type of reliefs all over the walls, and they're magnificent. I'm gonna just say that they're magnificent. And so again, you see how the mastaba developed into the step pyramid, and how the step pyramid developed into the true pyramid. And you can see from the mastaba all the way to the step pyramid that the engineering layout of the burial was pretty much the same. And so here's the pyramid of Meidum, and it fell down. This was the first failure after Imhotep pyramid. You can see the brothers was moving in development, but they just didn't master it. And so the outer casing fell down. You see, but it's still a wonder of the world. You see the brothers out there, stone masons, cutting the stone, developing the stone. This is the first dynasty, showing you. I just showed you Den. You see his, and look at the storage areas around. You see the tomb right there where they were, but look at the storage area. This is First dynasty. And they would have had something over top now. They would have had a mastaba over top. It would have been a temple complex. And so the tops had fallen down, but man, this was highly advanced even in the first dynasty. Nowhere on the planet. A nigga couldn't get you see one of them, one storage area you see the one down there, aha, you couldn't get one, nigga. You couldn't get one. You couldn't get one. Do you know how much money it costs to bury? Imagine if you had a plot of land, just you won. So I don't want y'all to think that this is a highly advanced people, even in the first dynasty. We got to understand that. So you talk about the old kingdom. The old kingdom, you're coming up out of the what we call old Egypt, you're coming into the old kingdom. You see, the old kingdom is from 2686 to 2181 BC. These are the pyramid builders. The old kingdom is considered the pyramid age. You see right there to the right, you see Khufu, and then right there to the left, you see the great Menkaure. You see the great Menkaure with his queen, and you see the goddess Hathor. You see, so we're talking about from Narmer to Zoser. You see, Narmer to Zoser. Now, Zoser is actually in the old kingdom. Narmer is not. You see what I'm saying? But that's how long it took you to get from the mastaba into the step pyramid. And you see right there, if you go to the Abydos Kings list, this is Narmer's, the first cartouche on that list, symbolic of Narmer. He looked just like Mike Tyson, looked just like Mike Tyson. You can see he's a true African. Again, this is the same brother that's right here on the Narmer palette. And so you see on the Narmer palette, and you see right there to the right, which is that's the outer wall of Saqqara, which is the pyramid of Zoser constructed by Imhotep. And you can see the temple groove that's on Narmer's palette. Let me show you. Let me go to the top. You see right there in the middle, and you see the grooves in there. That's symbolic of the temple. You see, and so when you come to Saqqara, you can see that them same grooves is right there in the temple. It's symbolic of the temple. You see, and they're showing you where it comes from. Third dynasty. This is the great Zoser. This is the great Zoser, who was the pharaoh during the time of Imhotep. And during that time of the great pyramids, we see that Ptah, the great god, which Egypt is named after, Egypt, Ptah, E-G-Y-P-T-A-H. All you had to do was add the A-H, Egypt, Ptah. This is where you get, the great, and listen, this is in the third dynasty, man, and it's still magnificent. Still magnificent to this day. You see, this is true heaven on earth. The first stone structure in human history, the step pyramid of Saqqara, was built by the Grand Master Architect Imhotep for the Sultan Zoser 2668 to 2649 BC. And they've actually did some reconstructive work on it, because it was looking like that, and they went to work. They did it a good service. They did it a good service. Yes, they did. They brought it, they made it look much better than what it was. And so you see right here, again, the great god Ptah manifested black. What a beautiful deity. That's my God, and I love him so, you see. And and you see that you see the step pyramid. This is the first stairway to heaven. You see, this was the first stairway to heaven. You understand? And long before Jacob's life, long before any Christian or Judaic Christian Islamic rhetoric that you read in the Bible and Quran today. You see, and this is another reconstruction of what it would look like. These are all reconstructions. Yes. And so the thing is, now this is in Old Mecca land, and I notice I see them green tiles and, them green tiles and, and when you go to Imhotep's tomb, you see that they also got tiles. You see, they got them like turquoise tile. You see, and so you seeing some heavy influence from Egypt on the Olmeca land. You're seeing heavy influence from. You see, even when you look at this is Levanta. See, this is Levanta right here. This is the earliest pyramid in the Americas, built by the Olmec. Now you see right there, you see the pyramid, and right in front of it, you see the ceremonial court, the open court, ceremonial court. And when you go, let me see. This is also Levant. You see, and you see the pyramid. Now it was a mound, it's a mound now, but it just show you that the Olmecs, they use mounds up under the pyramids. There's mounds under the pyramids, some of them, a lot of them in the Americas. And so, I know I got a lot of. And so you see right there, you see the sacred oblong of the complex. You see the sacred oblong of the complex, and we'll get into that. So you see, now you see the open ceremonial court of Saqqara. Let me get that one down here. Where it go? Here it go. That's where it's supposed to be. Okay, so when you see the open ceremonial court of Levanta, you see the pyramid, you see the open ceremonial court, you look at Saqqara, you see the open ceremonial court. It's not only the same pyramid, it's the same pyramid layout. I don't know why they keep playing with me and thinking that I don't know. You know, I study it from a whole different level. I'm not no fool. You see what I'm saying? It's the same layout, without any doubt. You see right there, they tell you, when they talk about the scrolls and but they try to make it seem like that the ancient Egyptians, the scrolls was in the New Kingdom, and you see right there, Imhotep in the 3rd dynasty sitting with a scroll right there on his lap. It hurt them that we're able to show these things. It hurts them. You know that, the Europeans didn't have a goddamn book until damn near 1600, 1700. You see, they didn't have no books. Yeah, they little scribes there who got a chance by way, went into Asia and got a little understanding. They didn't have no libraries like in Egypt and Timbuktu. They didn't have none of that. It was the Africans that took the university system into Europe. You see, it was the Egyptians that showed them what the university system was like in the ancient world. And they never allowed them to come in because they were so backwards. You had to teach them how to wash up first. You had to, you know what I'm saying? They were so backwards. They had been living in barbarity for so goddamn long. Nothing you could do with it. Nothing. Nothing at all. Brother say, like, you just coming in. Okay, that's all right. That's all right, brother. All you had to do is rewind it back. I've been running like damn straight up the middle ever since I got on here. And so it ain't gonna be no pause in the calls. We're gonna drop it like we're supposed to. And so again, we looking at the scrolls of Imhotep. Every time they show Imhotep, they show him with a scroll. When you go to Saqqara, you talking about the oldest columns in the world. These are the oldest columns. You see? And you see that they're fluted. They're fluted columns. And so that's what they call, in Greece, they call them Doric columns. Okay? Ain't no damn Doric. Doric columns in Africa got them there 3,000 years before Doric. You see? We don't, so we man up, tell the truth. And so here it is. You can look in DC. You see the fluted. You see the fluted column. You see, and you can come right here in Africa, and you can see the fluted column. Wait a minute. Matter of fact, this is 3,000. You talking about almost 5,000 years before this particular? Because this look like this is the Pantheon in Tennessee. So this is the Pantheon. So this particular building right here, this building is over 5,000 years older than this building right here. You see, over 5,000. And so when you look at Africa and you understand that Egypt is a manifestation of the physical Africa, the trees and the animals, everything manifested in stone. You see, everything manifested in stone. And so Egypt was also the recreation of the southern region. That's why they call Egypt heaven on earth, because the highlands was looked at as an extension of heaven. You see, when you go up into Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, in all these areas, this was looked at as an extension of heaven. You see? And so Egypt is a reflection or a reflection of heaven on earth. Okay? And so you see it, the wife, the holy sacred goddess Sekhmet, and at one time Imhotep, Ptah, and Sekhmet was a trinity. I seen it for myself when I went to Karnak. I seen that trinity on the walls in the temple of Karnak. Imhotep, who was the high priest. He was the high priest of the brotherhood of Ptah. And so you can see right there, even on the Narmer's palette, you see that they got the cap of Ptah on their head. You see they got the cap of Ptah on their head. And so and you see right there Tahuti. You see Tahuti as the baboon, and you see the scribe, with his, giving praise to Tahuti. You see before he go into his divine responsibility of writing scroll. You see, and another thing is that they don't show you the little short Ptah, the little twa Ptah. See, they show you, and he's always manifested in pure blackness now. He's black. He's from the primordial blackness of creation. And see, but another aspect of Ptah is as the twa. So they know exactly who were the forerunners in laying down this civilization in ancient Egypt. They know that the Twa, our little African brothers and sisters, were some of the first who come into this land and establish this land in sovereignty and in nationality. You see right there, you see the general, you see me right there at Saqqara. Yeah, I was there, went there 3 years in a row. Yeah, and so you see again, Maydoum, and we did this one. Let's move through here. Now you getting into the pyramids of the Americas. You see, and you see, look right in front, you see the ceremonial. After you look at you study the temples with the general, you will get the layout, you'll get the Masonic layout of what it, how the temples are constructed and how the pyramid, not just the pyramid, but the pyramid complex. See, not just the pyramid, it's the pyramid complex and how it's laid out. And there's no coincidence that, the style of pyramid, the pyramid complex, and all of that could be a coincidence. No, we don't believe that. Not at all. I'm not a fool. If I see a skyscraper in America, I see a skyscraper in Asia, I see a skyscraper in Europe, I got enough sense to know that technology is coming from a source technology, that they're taken from the same source technology to construct all of these skyscrapers on the planet. It's not nothing new coming up. They might do something here or there, but the basic fundamentals of building skyscrapers is the same anywhere you go. You see, and so here you see the step pyramid right here in the Yucatan of Chichén Itzá. You see, and so but the first step pyramid was that of Imhotep. Now we're talking about the 25. And I don't know if all 25 are the greatest wonders of ancient Egypt. Number one is the pyramid of Khufu. Without any doubt, the greatest structure on the earth, hands down. There is no comparison, nowhere, no high, ain't even a second runner up. Was the largest building, tallest, but still the largest building, the tallest building on the planet for over almost 4,000 years. 4,000. 4,000 years. Not until, and I think I have it in there. It'll come up. Number 2, Khafre, right next to it. Number 3, the red pyramid of Sneferu. You see? The true pyramid. You see? Then, see, this was the building that I believe finally surpassed the pyramid in height. So you're talking about damn near in the 1600s. Damn near. So they talk about all the buildings that held the number 1 spot as the tallest structure on the planet. Each, man, by far, there's nothing else that came close, you see? And so, number 4, the step pyramid of Saqqara. Number 5, this is the bent pyramid. Now, the bent pyramid is actually more massive than the pyramid of Saqqara. You see what I'm saying? But Saqqara was built to perfection. But this right here is a megalithic wonder of wonders, even with it bent, even with it has so much masonry. It has so much masonry on it. This is a very large pyramid by far. And so number 5, matter of fact, I didn't put it in. I didn't put it in as number 4. That's the red pyramid. And both of these were built by Sneferu. He messed up here, but he made up. And this red pyramid is the first true pyramid on the planet. The first true pyramid on the planet. Number 5, Abu Simbel, the most beautiful temple complex on planet Earth. You see Abu Simbel, and you see right there the great statues of Ramesses II. You see the son of Seti I, Min Maat Seti I. Now this is the holy of holies of Abu Simbel. You see in there Ra-Harakti, you see Ramesses himself, Amen, and you see the great god Ptah, where the head had been knocked off. Well, we don't know how that happened, or we do know how that happened. And so leading up, you see, look all the way down, you see the sanctum, you see the sanctuary, you see the holy of holies, and you see the Ramesside column inside of the temple, leading down into the holy of holies. You see right there inside of that temple, you see Ramesses being crowned by Heru and the great god Set. You in Nubia. When you're in Abu Simbel, or when you're at Abu Simbel, you're in the south, you're in Nubia. And so when you get into Nubia, you see Set becomes highly profound because he's a Nubian deity. Now this is the temple right next to, and this is actually a complex. So you got the Abu Simbel complex, temple complex. You got on one side, this right here, you see the tomb, the temple for Ramesses, and then you come right and walk down, and then you come to the temple of Nefertari, the divine wife of Ramesses II, Nefertari II, and this is one of the first, if not the first tomb that was designed strictly for an empress that's still standing on this level that I know of. There is temples for goddesses, yes, goddesses are, but we're talking about for a queen alone. This is the first temple that I know of where a queen was deified and was given a megalithic temple like this. And so Ramesses wasn't playing, you see. He loved Nefertari greatly, you see. And so this is her temple, and you see Hathor, the great cow goddess, that what we talk about. We talk about the Milky Way. You see, that is in veneration of Hathor. You see, that is in veneration of Hathor. Now the Milky Way, and I don't have that there this second, but we will drop it down. I don't know. We moving along. We going into the second hour. You understand what I'm saying? It seemed like time then flew by, but we done been going already an hour and 40 minutes. And I ain't paused yet, and ain't about to pause. And so you see right here, the great Nubian temple of Abu Simbel. You see, and you got to get there. And so you see the great goddess, and the great goddess Hathor, yet she was deified in the constellations as the Milky Way. And because she was and they talk about Jesus was the provider and the sustainer. Ain't no goddamn sustainer. The mama is the sustainer. What you gonna sustain somebody with? It is the breast of the mother that sustains the child. So when you talk about the great sustainer, it's the mother, not no father. You talk about the great sustainer. Stop it. Stop this madness. You see, and so you see right here the pyramid layout of Giza, the three pyramids, Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure. You can go in there, Teotihuacan, then you go to Exxon pyramids in China. That the stars of the pyramids is laid out after the three stars in Orion's belt. You see, and so we back up in Abu Simbel. We back up in Nefertari, and you see right there the veneration of Hathor. You see right there Heru. I mean, no, not Heru. You see Nefertari, and you see where she does have the cow, but that's Aset. That's Aset right there, crowning Nefertari, blessing her. You see, matter of fact, it's both of them. Yeah, yeah, both of them are Aset. I thought I was looking to see if one was Nephthys. You know, a lot of times they split it like that, but both of them symbols, and very well it could be. Matter of fact, let me look up there. Let me see if I see that throne. Yep, it's up there. Yep. If you look all the way up at the top up there, you see that throne? You see that egg? And you see like a half, you know, like the sun rising right there. You see that? That's Isis. That's Isis. And you see that scorpion. I mean, not that serpent too. That's goddess. That means goddess. So when you see that throne right there, and you see that egg, and you see now a lot of people say Seti don't know that. Okay, let me show you ass. Let me show you that I know what I know. Now, watch this. Watch this. See if I don't know what I know. Let's see. What the hell that nigga said he up there? Yeah. Okay. Let me show you, nigga. Let me show you that the great God know what he know. And I'm going to bring you right back to it. So I can manifest it. Now let me get the I had one I liked. But I'll just roll with that one for right now. I'll just roll with that one for right now. I ain't gonna maybe let me see what this says. See, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Let me blow it up. And so you see right up there, you see the let me make sure I'm where is that relief at? Did it go past? I must have went past. I did. There you go, right there. Let me write it down so I can show you. I know what I know. See at the top, you see where it say Aset. See the throne. See the egg. See the serpent. See that half a loaf. And so when you come, you see right there, you see the throne. You see the egg. You see that half a loaf. You see the serpent. That's Isis. That's Aset. That's Aset. Now, it very well may be a duplication because it almost looks the same. You see, it almost looks the same as far as you know, the imagery. It looks the same as Isis. Okay, so we see right here 7. You see we see the bent pyramid. I put the bent pyramid at 7. Then you got the pyramids of the pyramid fields of Nubia. I put at 9. Wonders of the world. Where you going? Which one of them? What Greek temple can beat any one of them? How the fuck is the Greek goddamn temples talking about the wonders of the world? Where at? Where at? Where you gonna find them at? That could be any, even the smallest wonder in Africa cannot be beat by nothing outside of Africa. Right here, this number 9, the Sphinx. The Sphinx, number 9. Here you go. The funerary temple of Hatshepsut. Number 10. Number 10. And then now number 11. The temple of Isis. Philae. We talking about Nubia. You see, we in Nubia. Now that was this 10, 11. Minahat Habu. Now in here you find some of the deep. Karnak. It's like we can't run out. We can't run out, man. We can't run out. There's nowhere else on the planet. Minahat Habu. This was constructed by the great Ramesses III. Ramesses III. A lot of people sleeping on, man. Ramesses III was the truth. Ramesses III was the truth, family. Straight up. He's right there. He's right there. He's at the top. When you talk about some of the top kings in Egypt, Ramesses III he's in the top. He might not be in the top 5, but he damn near in the top 10. You talking about the great temple of my spiritual father, Seti I, who constructed this great temple to Osiris. And this is one of the most sacred temples in all the world. This is here where they came to venerate the resurrected Messiah, Asa, and that on the outside of this. And now people don't understand. I'm gonna show y'all something. As crazy it is, do y'all know that this pyramid, the earliest Dynasty 1, do you know that this is outside, right, not far from that temple at Abydos? Yeah, so they was really constructing. A lot of times they built right near their ancestors, and so you would think, no, this is actually right out, not far. You see, not far from there, and behind this temple of Abydos is the Osirian, where they say Osiris was buried. You see, they have some of the most megalithic stones in all of Egypt. Some of the most, and so in this temple of Abydos, you see the 76 kings, the Abydos kings list, the oldest kings list. There's nowhere on the planet where you could go. You got 76 kings, and that's not all the kings, it's the worthy kings. The worthy kings to be on this 76 from Narmer, the first king, to the king right there, Seti, my spiritual father, Seti the first, Min Ma'atra, Seti the first. And you see right there his son, that's Ramesses II, who many say is the greatest king that ever lived on the planet, but that's a testimony to Seti, that he raised the greatest king. He came in the footsteps of his father. He came in the footsteps of his father. You see, Seti the first. Matter of fact, as I thought about that, I forgot about, wait a minute. I got to make sure, as I did that, something popped up in my head that I was supposed to give this right here to my brother. And I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't get him but I gotta get it to him now. I gotta stop right now this minute and get it to him. Cause I know he like, man, I know said he didn't send me the damn live stream. Man, I don't know why. I guess I was, let me get that to him. I'm sorry, family. We almost reaching finale. We almost reaching finale. Let me get it to him so I can go out like a trooper. He's gonna have to watch it. He's gonna have to watch it. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me get it to him. Today is my daughter's birthday. Ain't that something? Let me get it to him. Yeah. Let me see if Ray come in. Yeah, I give it to him. Damn near. Yeah. Yeah. So now, here come in. Here come in. Yeah. And so now, and so you see 76 kings. You see the 76 kings of the Abydos kings list, starting with Seti, Memad Ra Seti, the first, ending, no, starting with Narmer, but ending with Seti. And so that's 76 kings. 2,000 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? Narmer at 3100 BC. Now you got to take that with a grain of salt because it could be older. It ain't going to be younger, but it could be older. And Seti around 1200 BC. 2,000 years of continuous rule on the planet. You see no other people. And the fact is, it goes on after those 76 kings because you see the next king right there, Ramesses. But he's not on this list. He's not on this list. You see? He's not on this list. So you still have great kings after this. So that's already 2,000 years. And so so you talking about 1,200, and so around 500 years later, that just show you the distance between Ramesses and Seti and Pianki, Taaka, and Shabaka, which is the Nubian. You understand? Which they are still Africans, all of Africans. Some of the kings was Nubian, but we're talking about when Nubia officially took over Egypt in the 25th dynasty. So you're talking about 700 to 600 BC. So you still talking about at least 400-500 years after that of Ramesses and Seti. So you still had legacy going on long after that. You still had legacy going on long after that. You know, so you talking about over 3,000 years. You talking about over 3,000 years. Now, if you add Nubia and you add the pre-dynastic, you see, if you add the pre-dynastic, you're going back 5,000 years. You're going back 5,000 years. Now, look at these stones. You're talking about this is the Osirian behind the Abydos temple. You see, you're talking about the Osirian, and these is listen, when you talk about the Osirian, and I'm going to do this is the largest megalithic temple in Egypt. Even though it don't have we talking about the weight of some of these stones. You see them damn stones, and they polished. Many times you can go in other society, They might got a stone that's lifted up, but it's not polished. It's not quarried. It's not cut. You see what I'm saying? So these is cut, man. Look at them stones right there. You talk, how the hell did they get them stones up there, man? And then when I go to Karnak, man, that's mind blowing. Because you got them columns in Karnak, which is another wonder of the world. You see these stones? Them stones is like 100 tons. You see? 100 tons that, you know, some of these stones in behind what we call the Osiris. I got more of them. Look at it. Look at it. Cut and moved in there. Look how long them over 100 tons. No other temple in Egypt has that level of you know, and weight in stone. You see? The Osiris. And not only that, we're talking about the megalithic sarcophaguses of ancient Egypt. This is at Saqqara. Now look at this. You see the people? Do you see the people? Do you see the size of these damn sarcophaguses? Well, they're giants, but these were for the bull. You understand what I'm saying? The sacred bull. Oh, damn, they built, man. They built, the Africans built like on the level of giants, man. Straight up. That's shocking. They built on the level of giants. And so when you talk about cutting stone and then you get to the Olmec, what other people on the planet do you know that had that level? It would have taken, man, you see this face right here? This ain't nobody that just got started. This is people who've been carving in stone for thousands of years. This ain't nobody that just got started 2 days and 3 days. No way. This is people that have been carving for thousands of years. Who else had that kind of technology? You see? Now, people don't even know, and I'm going to have to bring this one up. See, people don't know about this temple. Now, this temple, matter of fact, this is out in man, this is out in the western desert of Egypt, going towards Libya, I think. You see, I think, you know, you're talking about going towards Libya. This tomb is very significant in the first female pharaoh of ancient Egypt. And we're talking about Sobek Neferu. Sobek Neferu was the first female pharaoh in the history of ancient Egypt. Pharaoh who took sole control over rulership in Egypt. You see, I'm waiting for this. Hold on. No. Okay, there it is. Okay, there it goes. There it goes. And so you can look at the, you look at the megalithic stones on this. Now, what's very interesting, this particular, even in the Giza Plateau, you see how they cut the stones like in diagonal forms and shit. You know what I'm saying? And fit them stones in there that way. You know, it's only it's temples like that in Peru. You see? Do I got them in there? Let me see if I got something. See this? Okay, this is Qasar el Saka. That's the name of that temple. Qasar el Saka. And so that's the temple of Sobek. Sobek Neferu. And so I'm going to show you, and then we reached the 2 hour point. We reached the 2 hour point I'm gonna show you this though. Let me see. Here you go. See, they had, but see what you now. See, I'm gonna show you. Okay. I want you to see. I want you to see this. I want to get up close. But you see, even in Peru, let me drop this in. Okay. Come back. Okay. Now you see in Peru, you see how they cut on that they cut zigzags, and you see there's only certain areas in the world that did that. And so when you go to the let me see if I can show you in man, it's crazy, man. I got a lot of stuff that I would, but it ain't gonna be today. You know what I'm saying? But you can see here, you see how they cut it? They cut in them zigzags, and even them knobs that you see right there coming off the stone. You see, wait a minute, let me show. Let me see if they're going, let me see if I can get them just quickly. Man, I didn't seen them knobs, they been coming off the stone. I didn't seen them in the sarcophagus. It's just, it's time out, man. It's time out. We understand what it is, man. For me, that's been studying for so long, I don't hesitate. Because I didn't seen. Okay. I ain't gonna search too long. I'll be trying to find decent one. And so this one right here, show. And I'll do, when it come time, I'll do it on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Where I drop that in there, but I'll drop that right there, just so you can see. Now you see in the pre-inking, and you see them knobs down there. You know what I'm saying? You can see them in Egypt too. And I've seen in the zigzags and shit. With them megalithic stones. And where you came, and it's like them motherfuckers been, with heated together so tight you can't even put a man. You couldn't put a piece of paper through that motherfucker. It's not going. You see what I'm saying? So it's only a particular people on the planet that was able to do that. You see the Egyptians, you see the did not. This is a, let me see if I can get uh Khafra, let me see if I can get Khafra. If I can just get one, I'll be satisfied. If not, because you had to do a lot of digging. Pyramid complex. Let's see. Okay. Now this is another one you can see too. You can see it here too. And then I just had to do I had to get a live stream and put it together for y'all. Hopefully they let me get this one. They let me get it. All right, good. Now you see them. You see how they cut in them zigzags with that heavy granite. You see, you can see right there. You see, and up and through there, and all through there, they're using that zigzag. You know what I'm saying? There's only a certain people that could do that, and the Egyptians, and just a few people on the planet was able to do that. You see, and so there's no doubt about it. Who because it would have taken thousands and thousands, and because the Masons today say they can't do it. You see, they can't do it. So at least they telling the truth. You understand what I'm saying? They saying that the technology that it would take to put that kind of shit together, almost godlike. You see, it's almost godlike to be able to do something like that. And so, family, 2 hours, man. I went hard as I could for y'all. You see, my damn throat is aching. Yeah. But I'm going to get that together for y'all. I'm going to show y'all that. I want to do that for y'all. Y'all stay close to me and staying, and we're going to put that one together. I'm getting the false teachings of the cuneiform. I know family reached out there, and I'm going to get that. Now, tomorrow, I'll start back up. Matter of fact, I'm going to still get busy tonight. I got, for my family out there, if y'all go to my YouTube page, I uploaded, I did some, I've been doing some in-studio stuff. You see what I'm saying? So go there. It's 3 videos up there, and I'll probably try to do 3 more. I'm just working all night, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably try to do 3 more for the family, but they and I might run them as live streams, but I probably had 3 more, but it's 3 new ones up there today. Go check them out. Man, I appreciate you, kings and queens. I appreciate the brothers. Happy Father's Day out there, man. I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all support. Y'all stay strong, keep studying, keep progressing, man, and we about to make this happen. All right, family. General Cyrus Soon said, he said, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beat daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power. And for all the family out there that missed the earlier part, I'm going to end. You probably give it a second to, it got a process. And then you can watch in entirety. I'm going to leave it up for 48 hours. Thank you again. Black power.